All right, so I'm going to move on to the build side of things. So again, we're using Bamboo. So if I go to my build activity, okay, you can see that our build just finished and it was successful. I'm going to walk you through the build steps that we've set up here. So we provide a plugin to Bamboo, which makes it really easy for you to interact with our build steps and configure them. So if I go to my plan configuration here, I have a total of 2 tasks from Redgate. So one is called the build, which is basically doing that validation by comparing what you have in source control against a temporary empty database and tries to build a database from scratch just to make sure that all of your objects within the database or within the copy of the database in source control are valid and that there's no syntax errors with any of the files that you have in source control. Once that database build is successful, then it goes ahead and packages up the database into a NuGet package. So this is the name of our NuGet package, and the version gets automatically assigned as the build number for that NuGet package. And you can specify where you want that temporary database to be built. So in this case, I'm doing a local DB, which is SQL Server Express, and it gets installed as part of our DLM automation component. Or you can use a specific instance of SQL Server. So for instance, if you have link servers or dependencies to other databases, then you would have to do the build on a SQL Server instance where those dependencies are available. Once the build is done, then we run a test step. So this test step relies on our SQL test tool and a couple of testing frameworks. One is called tsqlt, which is a unit testing framework, and the other one is called SQL Cop. So if I go back to my database here, you can see there are some objects with SQL Cop schema and some are with tsqlt schema. So SQL Cop actually provides you with the setup tests out of box that you can use for your database. Here I'm only using a selection of those tests. There's actually a lot more SQL Cop tests that are available that you can use. But some of the ones that I'm using here, you could use SQL Cop for, enforcing coding standards or, do some performance checks and things like that. So in this case, I have one that makes sure that there are no stored procedures starting with SP_ because it's bad practice. I also have another one related to performance, so making sure that there are no stored procedures with set row count. And a couple more here. So the good thing with these type of tests is that it's pure SQL. So if you want to customize any of these tests, you can simply go in and modify them and execute the changes, and it will. That's how you would customize your SQL Cop test. Now, on the other hand, tsqlt, which is a unit testing framework, it provides you with a set of objects here that you can use to create unit tests for your database. So, for instance, here I've got one called fake table, which enables you to create a fake table of an existing table, and I've actually used that in one of the unit tests here. So if I open up this unit test and show you what we're doing. So it's a very simple unit test. So we're testing the store procedure PRC at contact, and we're doing that by creating that fake table of our contacts table first, populating that table with some data using the PRC at contact store procedure, and making sure that the data that gets added matches the data that we're expecting. If they don't match, then this unit test will fail, and it will fail the build as a result. You can also run your tests locally using the SQL test plugin, so you can easily run SQL tests here, and you can go ahead and run whatever tests that you want to run locally on the development database. You can do that easily from within SSMS. So going back to our build log here, so this is basically the log of what we did. So validated all the objects and created our NuGet package, and also an a JUnit report of the tests that we executed on our database as part of the build. So now that the build was successful, that means we now have a NuGet package that we can use as a source of deployment going to our higher environment.